Hi BookTube, it's Marianne at We Last With a Book, and today I would like to talk about 2021 reading goals, reading plans, channel plans for 2021. It is the 1st of January, Happy New Year. I'm sure we're all glad to say goodbye to 2020. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that 2021 was straight up the worst year ever. On the 32 years I've been on this planet, I cannot think of a time where the vibes were more off. But I survived, clinging on to the last threads of my sanity, cherishing that last drop of serotonin that exists in my system. And we're going into 2021. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling like I'm just going to make the most of every positive thing that happens throughout the year. Things can only get better from here. Surely they cannot get worse. I am very much in the mindset of good vibes only. Everything's going to improve and we're going to be all the better for surviving 2020. That might be a very rose-tinted spectacles way of looking at it, but it is the only thing that is keeping me going. And it has only been 2021 for approximately, 18 hours. But we're here. We're participating in life. We're participating in BookTube. It's going to be fine. Like I said, it can't be any worse than last year. In 2020, I set myself a goal of reading 52 books, which worked out at a book a week, and we hit 99 books. So, considering I had a reading slump that lasted about 3 months at the beginning of the year, I'd say that 100 books is probably a realistic goal for this year. If I hit it, I hit it. Great. If I don't, I don't. It's not the end of the world. My second goal of the year is to use our local library more. They are closed again as we're back in a tier 4 lockdown over the post-festive period. So unfortunately the libraries are closed again. But I have realised over the course of the year just how much I've valued the library that we have. But my concern is that they might not reopen the one nearest where I live. It is a fairly small library. It is not used very often, but it's in quite a high traffic area. It is next to the shops, the doctor's surgery, the chemist, council building. So it is in an area where people have easy access. Unfortunately, when they started lifting the restrictions, that was one of the libraries that weren't reopened. So I'm hoping that it's maybe just they were prioritising the bigger libraries as opposed to maybe keeping the smaller ones closed permanently. But they had discussed closing that library previously before COVID even happened. Not only do they have books there, obviously, they have games, they have book bug sessions where you can take your kids and they do reading and nursery rhymes and stuff like that. There is access to computers. For people who don't have internet access at home or who need to use the internet for job purposes, whether it's finding a job or whatever, printing resources, photocopying resources. It is a great thing that we had in the local community, and I would say that it was probably used more for those side functions than it was for the books. If I can sort of try and push people towards using the library, it'll give them a more valid reason to reopen and stay open. I don't know, might start a petition or something. So there's going to be less book hauls from a buying perspective and more library hauls. Genre-wise, I'm planning on getting back into reading more romance. I know that that's a genre that a lot of people look down on, but I find so much happiness and enjoyment from it that I really don't care what other people think at this point. Like I said, people have bigger problems than critiquing other people's reading choices where we're sitting at right now. If people want to judge me for it, I really don't care. It makes me happy and you can just screw off. And if somebody wants to make fun of me because of my reading choices, then that says a lot more about them than it does about me. So channel plans. I had filmed a backlog of videos to post even though I was back at work to make sure that there was regular uploads happening. But I ended up in this really weird space in my anxiety where I was sort of viewing, am I good enough? Just generally in life, and that transferred towards the whole YouTube side of it. I was looking through the videos that I was planning on uploading, and I was just deleting them as soon as I opened them up because I thought these are awful. In hindsight, that was really daft. And now that I'm feeling a wee bit more positive, I'm planning on uploading more regularly on my days off, filming as many videos as I can possibly make in the one day so that there's going to be regular uploads happening. I'm hoping to upload twice a week to begin with and then build that up to 3 times a week. I have a December haul that is sitting waiting to get uploaded. I will get that posted as soon as possible. I am planning on vlogging more. Like I said, there's going to be less hauls from book purchases and more hauls from using the library when they reopen, if they reopen. But if they don't, there is a bus route that goes to the next library along. So there is access to library regardless. I just really wouldn't like our local library to close because I think it's a vital part of the local area. Like I said, it's in a high traffic area. If people are at the doctor's surgery, at the chemist, at the shops, at the council building, it is right there. There is no reason that people shouldn't be using it. Your library card is free. You have access to free books. Why would you not use that? And plus, the ladies that work there are so lovely. Even if you're just going to take books back, like, it's nice to have a wee chat. The faces, you can chat about books, you can chat about just stuff that's happening in your life. So you've got the social aspect there as well as the access to books, access to spaces where you can work from, study from, computers to use. So it is not justifiable for people not to use it. Went back in the library rant again there. I am wanting to take part in more readathons, but not to the point where I am overstretching myself. I found that the reading rush was really fun and I enjoyed taking part in it. But then the second readathon I'd taken part in, the history readathon, I was going back to work and I had made an overambitious TBR and I ended up stressing myself out and I only finished one of the books that I had been reading for it. So I think it's going to be a case of being really picky about what ones I take part in. And while I would have enjoyed the history readathon at any other time, during the pandemic and during the transition from being off work, going back to work, the kids being off and then going back to school, it was just too much to deal with all at the one time. I'm going to make a conscious effort to only take part in readathons that I know that I can dedicate my time to and I'm not going to stress myself out with. I'd also like to take more time with regards to my book reviews. This is less to do with the channel and more to do with Goodreads because I have become quite lazy. I have started just rating them and not writing a review to expand on why I enjoyed it. Because the reason I made this channel and the reason that I have a Goodreads is to be part of a community where people read and appreciate what they love and share their opinions, share their thoughts. So I've started taking notes so that my reviews can be more in-depth and insightful and keep track of how I felt the whole way through the book. With regards to Goodreads, library thing and everything like that, I have found that Goodreads was actually pretty shit this year because there had been a few times where everything had been removed from my shelves. My reading challenge from the year had went from 90 books all the way down to 0. So I decided I would start a reading journal, using that to take notes, keeping track of things. I've got my TBR in there as well as on my Goodreads so I can use them side by side. And I feel like a massive copycat because I watched the video from Literary Diversions this morning and she had posted the exact same thing, but I swear I had already set it up in December and I'm not copying anybody or trying to steal anybody's content, but Journal wise, I'll let you see my setup for that. I'm gonna put a link to this notebook in the description box. I have been using a bullet journal for years, but any book I've tried, whether it be more expensive ones or cheaper ones, the paper quality hasn't been great. The paper has either been far too yellow or far too white. Managed to find the perfect notebook. It was $13.99 on Amazon, which is sort of middle of the range for what I would normally spend. I would normally spend between £8 and the most I've spent on a notebook was probably 25, and that's because it had a beautiful leather Celtic cover on it, and they were handmade and they were sold at this Christmas market. And obviously giving money to your local businesses is really good, but I haven't actually used the notebook because it's too pretty. The pages are all made from recycled paper and they've got flower petals and stuff pressed into the paper, so I refuse to even write in it. I was planning on using that for my reading journal because it was so special, but then I went to put pen to paper and went, no, I can't do this. I cannot desecrate this notebook. It's an Ottergami notebook. I actually got quite a good deal because I had £10 worth of Amazon vouchers sitting, so I just used them and then added the extra towards it. So bargain. I'll definitely be buying another one of these. So I'll show you the setup for that in a minute and let you see what we have in here. So I thought I would just drop in my current reads while I was here and already filming. I have not chosen the best reading material to start at the very beginning of a new year. The book I'm currently reading in physical copy is The Dollmaker by Allan. It's a really good book, but it's very dark and the format is quite not complicated, and there's different media used. Some is letter format, some is short stories, some of it is from the protagonist's point of view. So I also like to have an ebook on the go because my Kindle's got a backlight, so I can lie in bed and read it. And I was in keeping with the whole reading more romance initiative that I had kicked off the year with, and thought, oh, I'll go and search for a historical romance. And something that had caught my eye was The Mistress of Pemberley, which is a sort of follow on from Pride and Prejudice. Now, I love Pride and Prejudice, and I thought, right, this is going to be good. So I started the book, and so it's more the honeymoon period of Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, and you know from my previous videos I really enjoy erotic novels, smutty romance book. It's more of a kind of 50 Shades of Darcy one, which is fine, but they have totally taken Jane Austen's characters and completely changed them. For me, if I was going to do a sequel or a prequel or expand on a classic, I think that you would need to kind of keep the characters with the same vibe. So you would have Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy with the same characteristics, way of speaking, everything like that, but make it dirty. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it. I've said before, I don't believe in DNF in books, but I'm going to try and persevere to the end of this. It could just be that I've been unfortunate stumbling upon it and being lured in with the premise of the sort of sexual awakening of Elizabeth, but it's not going well so far. And also there are some historical inaccuracies, but they're annoying me, and it's just the choice of language used, the etymology of certain words. If it was me writing from an 1800s perspective, I would maybe do a wee bit of research first, to see what sort of language was used. I mean, the sexual practices are fine, but it's some of the language that's used that makes me go, they would have been saying that in the 1800s. This is the early 1800s, and it's just me being really nitpicky and really petty. But I love my historical romance, and I love historical fiction, and I appreciate history in general. So it's kind of written my knitting a wee bit. I'm gonna go and let you see the setup for this, and give you a little insight on how I'm planning on tracking my reading. Unfortunately, I cannot find my tripod thingy to keep this steady. I love this notebook, so cute. I've got it covered in finger marks already. First page, just simple, January 2021. So I have a cover page. I just stuck some stickers on it, printed off some cute pictures of books, and then stuck them in. So I'm planning on reading every day of the year. Unfortunately, I managed to forget that both July and August have 31 days, so I'm going to have to go in with some Tipp-Ex and sort that. The next page I have is readathons, so any that I'm wanting to take part in, I can just record in here. It's quite simple and basic, but it does the job. The next two pages are my physical TBR, so I managed to get through a load of books sort of during the lockdown that I already had. This is all I've got so far, and I'll pop like my library books and stuff like that into it as well. It's not really exciting, it's cute. I'm more of a painter than a drawer, so it was just very kind of simple doodly sketches that went in there, and I got some cute little floral stickers because I'm wanting to stick with a kind of pink theme throughout the year. So I wanted to keep track of any book adaptations that were coming out this year. I have a wee list that I need to fill in that I have so far, and again just printed off some cute wee book pictures to stick in, and the January 2021 spread. Again, printed off some cute wee thingies. That's just some pretty paper that I have that I cut out and then stuck on, washi tape, more floral stickers, and those were little post-it notes that I had got on AliExpress. My TBR for January, again, cute little floral stickers. Unfortunately, the font I decided to write in here is not neat, but again, there are worse things happening in the world. And I've got a little mini version of my Read Every Day track. We'll quickly flip that. Those two pages are getting stuck together because I effed them up. I've got a list of 10 historic romances that I have downloaded on Kindle Unlimited. So my Kindle TBR, I haven't coloured it in yet or anything like that. This is all of the books I have currently downloaded on my Kindle that I need to get through. I had a massive clear out at the end of 2020 where I fired through and read loads of books off of my Kindle so that I could clear them in time for 2021. So these are book series that I started in 2020. The Bridgerton series I had already read previously, so those are going to be rereads. The Broken Earth trilogy I started in April of this year, and again I haven't finished it. I've got The Wicked Villains, the first book, on Kindle, so I just need to get the rest of them, and The Blackhaven Brides were also on Kindle Unlimited. My audiobook TBR, I got a notification from Audible that was basically congratulating me on how much I had read this year, and the only audiobook I actually listened to fully was to Stardust by Neil Gaiman because I absolutely loved it and wanted the audio of it to listen to. So my TBR consists of literally one book. So far, I have already read the physical copy of Birthday Girl, but I really wanted the audio to listen to it too. And then I'm going to be reviewing the books that I'm reading. So currently I'm reading the Dollmaker, so I will just do a wee book review once I'm finished and continue on. And then once I have completed my reviews of the month, I'll just have a little stats page. Right at the very back, I have basically just laid this out in a list format for the books that I've read over the year. I figured it would be a good idea just to shove it at the back instead of trying to fit it somewhere in the middle. And then I have my rating system for how I rate my and my sort of view on it. Then I have my review layout that I follow with every review I write. So basic bit about the plot, breakdown of the characters, character development, any redemption arcs. For shitty characters, I'd usually include relationships in along with that. Things I liked about the book, things I didn't like about the book, and then my final thoughts and what my rating is and why I gave it that rating. Just as a wee reminder, in case I'm sitting reviewing and then just have like a massive brain fart. Yeah, so that's the layout for this year. It's cute. We're sticking with the pink theme. So yeah, that's it. So that is how I have set up my reading journal for 2021. Like I said previously, Happy New Year. Hopefully 2021 is going to be much kinder to us than 2020 was. Take care. Happy reading. Be kind to each other. And I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.